This right behind me is my Mini Cooper S that I bought about 2 weeks ago for just £700. And after 2 weeks of getting things fixed on it, I still don't have it on the road. Because 2 weeks ago when I bought this Mini, I bought it with a slipping clutch. And the plan was drive it to a garage, get the clutch fixed, and then get it on the road. However, things didn't go to plan because on the drive to the garage or home from picking up the Mini, the clutch went, and then I had to wait a few days before I could sort out recovery for the Mini. And then after finally getting it recovered and getting the clutch fitted in the Mini, I found out while the subframe was off that the subframe was rotten. So I had to source a brand new second-hand subframe and then wait to get that fitted as well. There was also a few other things like drop links and things that needed replacing at the same time as the subframe. And then right at the end of getting the subframe fitted, just before I was going to take it for an MOT, I decided to check the brakes because all this time the brake warning light had not gone off. And it turns out there was a leak at the rear caliper on this side. So while I didn't film me doing any of the other fixes on the Mini because I did not change the clutch or the subframe or the bits that go with the subframe, I will be filming me doing the brake, cleaning the car and getting it on the road and taking it for its first drive, hopefully today. Now, unfortunately, I can't just screw the brake line in because it keeps twisting on itself and the other side is quite corroded, so there's a lot of resistance in trying to get the brake flexi off from the hard line. So I think if I try and do that, it's going to break. So what I'm going to need to do is take the wheel off, take the caliper off and rotate the caliper around the flexi to make sure it's tightened and then nip it up and then obviously top up the brake fluid and bleed the brakes. So let's get to work with that. Okay, so here's the deal. This brake line is literally hand tight and that is where it's leaking from, right here. Now, I can't take the brake line off back there because the connection is quite corroded and it feels like it will snap. So I'm gonna have to take the caliper off and then twist the caliper around that to avoid twisting the brake line and then put the caliper back on. Why is that just spinning? Okay, caliper off. Okay, not so straightforward at all there. As you can see, the Mini is now on a completely different angle because things went a bit sideways. While trying to take the caliper off to rotate it around the brake line and make sure it was screwed in properly, I couldn't get this cable off, the handbrake cable, and I realized that the handbrake cable was seized, or I didn't realize. I'd actually called in a friend for some help, and he realized the handbrake cable was seized. And after an absolute mission of jacking the car up, putting it on some stands so that we can get under there, and inside there, after taking all of the center console apart, we managed to remove the cable and go and collect a new one. Which sounds straightforward enough if you actually know how to do that job on one of these. But we started looking it up and obviously you've got to take all the center console apart. And the book time for doing one of these is like 3 hours, which, I mean, I get it because we have been at this for quite a while. But we got the new cable. My pal Michael is sticking it on under there. I'm going to help him reconnect all the center console and then we can finally get to bleeding the brakes and maybe get this thing on the road. So with a new handbrake cable threaded through and locked into place, I now got to reassemble all the center console. So a couple of nuts on this, a couple of screws on the armrest wherever I've put that, lock that back in, bolt that in and job done. Okay, it's a fresh day because yesterday it took absolutely ages to get all that done. I thought I was only undoing the caliper so I could wind it around the brake flexi and get that screwed in nice and tight. But obviously I ended up doing the brake cable, you know, having to dismantle everything in there. By the time we bled the brakes last night, it was gone 7 o'clock, and, you know, I'd been here hours, and I'd borrowed hours of my mate's time longer than we'd originally planned. So I have one job left to do today. Or rather, there's two jobs. First job is quite simple. We just check around this caliper. As you can now see, there's no fluid leaking. That brake line is done correctly. And job number two is to put some screws back in these heat shields, because they are literally sitting on top of the exhaust. Okay, we're going to do a big fast forward, because the work I was trying to show you that I was doing was not really going very well. So what I decided to do in the end was I actually removed the heat shield. As you can see under there, heat shield gone. I was trying to screw it in up there, but I couldn't really do it with the muffler in the way, or the back box. I don't really know why I just called it a muffler. I'm not American, but I took the heat shield out because it was literally resting on the exhaust, and that would have been an MOT fail. But the car has now passed, and it passed pretty much trouble-free, because mechanically this car is sound. Now, there's still a couple of minor things for me to sort out, but they're not going to happen in this video. I still need to fix the sunroof, because obviously that's not really working there. And there is one other thing that has happened since the MOT. That is me fog light and surround, because it got pretty loose down there. I did use a bit of sticky to put it back in, but there's all Tiger Seal behind the bumper that needs ripping out. So I'm going to have to take the bumper off in order to take all the sealant out and reset that light. So I'll take care of that sometime in the next week. And I think the brakes need rebleeding, because they do feel a little bit spongy. But overall, it's pretty good. I'm really impressed with the car. So I think what we should do now, while I'm on my own, I don't have the missus or the kids with me like I have the last couple of days, is rig this camera up and let's take the Mini for a drive. Okay, I'm not really sure how well this is going to work. I never really rigged the camera up to go for a drive before. Probably a better position I could put the camera in, but this is what's going to work for now. So, seatbelt on. Let's go for a drive. Don't have pick up well. I don't know how well you can hear that on the camera. But she pulls. Not that I'm driving faster than I should be. Definitely impressed with how fast it picks up speed. This is, I mean, it's definitely a lot quicker than my van and my Mrs. Qashqai. This is, yeah, I mean, it's what, 0 to 60 is like 6.5, 7 seconds, something like that. Whereas my van is about 0 to 60 in about 7 days. So, yeah, it goes well. I mean, like I said, the brakes are not as sharp as I think they should be, so I will have to have a look at bleeding them again. Pull in second gear. Third gear pull. And let's go. No room to overtake. Let's drive sensibly. I mean, I am definitely having fun with this thing. It handles well. We got another roundabout here. Let's go. What? I mean, that was third gear, uphill. And she just goes. Oh! I mean, this thing is just fun. I mean, look at the smile on my face. I am really enjoying this. It's been a long time since I've had a sporty car. Now I don't know if the mic is picking up the noises, but when you shift gear in like at about 3000 RPM, it does pop and bang a little bit, which does make me think it's had a remap, because as far as I'm aware, they don't do that from standard. But when I pull over, I'll give it a little rev and show you little pops and bang noises that it makes. I mean, it makes, and especially under load in second gear, it does sound really nice. I mean, if it were up to me, it would sound a little bit more ASBO, I gotta be honest. So maybe we'll have to do something with the exhaust, or definitely we'll have to do something with the exhaust, and just make it a little bit more ASBO, and then we'll go on a proper drive. But right now, I'm still getting used to the car. I mean, we've got a set of traffic lights. Let's see if I can make some noises. Don't know if the microphone's picking that up, but... Pop. Okay, only a short drive because I was literally just driving it home from the unit, but I am really, really enjoying this car. And I've taken it for a little bit of a wash. It doesn't have a proper clean and polish yet, but it is looking much cleaner, and it just looks so good sat on my driveway. And it's not only me, my kids absolutely love this car. I think I'm gonna have a really, really hard time parting with this one when the time comes. Now, I know I've still got a few things to do on this car, but I'm definitely sure it's had some sort of a remap. I don't know whether it's stage 1 or if it's just had pops and bangs, because I'm pretty sure they don't do that from standard. Let me show you what I mean. Now, I don't want to do too much of that because I don't want to upset my neighbours too much. I don't really want to give them a reason to shout at me, and revving a car in my driveway is not the best look. But I am pretty sure it's had some sort of remap, because as far as I'm aware, they do not do that from standard, and it does sound, I like the sound of it, but I really do want it to sound a little bit more ASBO. So I have got a little modification coming that we'll do next week. I know, I'm a grown man child. I've never really had an ASBO sounding car, and I think it'll be a bit of fun. I promised I'd do some modifications on this one, so it's got to be done. I think it's got to be done, and it's just going to be fun. So it's time I break down the price. What has my cheap Mini cost me so far? Well, I bought it for £700, and obviously it had to have the clutch done, which I bought the clutch for 75 quid, and having the clutch fitted cost me £350. So then there was the subframe, which I got a brand new second-hand subframe for 80 quid and then had that fitted for £100, so that's another £180 on top. While it was out, there was a couple of drop links that needed doing. I think I got the 2 of those for 30 quid. And then there was the brake line, which was 35 quid. So I think, mental maths, that takes me up to £1,370, I think, if I'm right, but there were some other costs as well. So there was, of course, the MOT, which was 50 quid, and there was a slight mishap when I was towing it, and I cracked the front bumper, which you can see here. And as you can see on the car, I've had that repaired, and you can't even tell it was there, or barely tell anything happened, and I paid 60 quid to have that fixed. So all in all, about 1,500 quid, which for a really nice looking Cooper S with a pretty much full service history, new clutch, it's had the timing belt done like 30,000 miles ago, I really don't think that's too bad. And I honestly think if I don't go wild modifying this, I might even make some money on it when I do come to sell it. But I honestly think selling it, or when it comes to selling it, it's gonna make me really, really sad. But at some point, it will have to go so that I can move on with something else. But I'm obviously not done with it yet, so we haven't got to worry about selling it for a while. It needs a full clean and polish, a few fixes and some modifications. So there's probably at least 1 or 2 more videos still to come with the Mini. And maybe a road trip or 2, depending how I'm doing for time. But timing wise, that's all I've got time for this week. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like the Mini, if you think I've done well for what I've spent, then let me know in the comments. Also let me know in the comments if you know a bit about these Mini Cooper S's and if you think that's had a remap, because I think it might have, of some sort, whether it's had a stage 1 or whether it's just had a pop and bang remap, then let me know in the comments. And also let me know in the comments what mods you'd like to see me do to this Mini, because there's definitely an exhaust mod coming, maybe 1 or 2 other little things, I'm not really sure, but let me know what you'd like to see me do with it. And also for regular viewers of the channel, you'll be pleased to know that the Melody is ready, or pretty much ready to be reassembled. So please let me know in the comments, would you like to see me do another full video reassembling the Melody, or would you prefer that I jump on a live stream one evening in the week and just reassemble the Melody? We can have a chat while I put the Melody back together on a live stream. Maybe, I don't know, that could be quite fun. I've done a couple of live streams and get a bit more used to them. It'd be nice to be actually doing something while I'm on a live stream. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you're not already subscribed, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss what else is coming with the Melody and everything else that's going on in the workshop. And until the next video, thank you so much for watching.